So, as a lot of you might have noticed, recently the rate of my uploads on this channel has slowed down a bit. Now, part of that is creative burnout and being busy with other things, but also part of that is I'm off doing some other stuff on some other platforms. So in today's video, I want to talk a bit about that. Be sure to stick around because all the stuff that I'm going to be talking about here is to do with the Linux Lounge channel, and I actually expect to be using these platforms a lot in the future, maybe even more than YouTube. Now first I want to start off by saying I do consider myself to be a content creator, but I don't really consider myself to be a YouTuber necessarily. Part of the reason for that really is that I'm just not on YouTube exclusively. I'm on a fair few other platforms too, and in fact in the future I actually do want to ditch YouTube. Now some eagle-eyed viewers may have already noticed that in the description of all my videos there's a list of links to sites that I'm on. If you haven't checked out my description yet, do be sure to. The sites listed there are Odyssey, LBRY, Ko-Fi, Mastodon, Patreon, and Peertube. Now since I don't want to hassle anyone for donations, I want to talk about Odyssey, LBRY, Mastodon, and Peertube in today's video. Now the most important out of all these platforms by far is Odyssey. All of my videos are mirrored on there, and generally I find it to be a great platform. If I consider myself to be anything, I consider myself to be an Odysseyer, not so much a YouTuber. There are numerous other Linux creators over on this site, and you can actually support all of us with Odyssey's own cryptocurrency, which you can earn through watching videos on the site and performing various other tasks on the site. So all around, it's a great video sharing site. What's particularly important here though, is that Odyssey recently added support for all sorts of file types, not just videos. So I recently started writing a tech blog, and I go ahead and post it over there, and I find that it's a really nice change of pace after creating videos for the past 5 years. So I definitely intend to make more blog entries about tech. Now, sadly these posts will actually have to be Odyssey exclusive though, since YouTube doesn't support text posts, and none of the other sites I'm going to mention here do either. So definitely follow the link in the description and join Odyssey. I recently published a 7-day Windows Phone challenge over there, so if you like that sort of thing, go over to Odyssey and check it out. Next, I want to talk about Mastodon. Essentially, Mastodon is a bit like an open source version of Twitter. The difference between Mastodon and Twitter, though, is that Mastodon is decentralized, which means there are numerous interconnected instances of Mastodon, which means that nobody has control over the whole thing. Personally, I use the Mastodon instance since a lot of people in the open source community also use it. You can find it in the description, or if you're using Mastodon already, which you definitely should be since it's an awesome site with an awesome community, you can find me by searching at Linux Lounge at fostodon.org. On my Mastodon account, I generally post channel updates, but I do also very often post other things when I feel like it. Also, I should just quickly add, don't worry, Mastodon isn't toxic like Twitter. Finally, I just want to talk about Peertube. The experience of using Peertube is rather a lot like using YouTube, except it's decentralized like Mastodon. I keep all of my videos mirrored on 2 Peertube instances, and my videos get mirrored on the same day that they go up on YouTube. One of those instances is TIL Vids, and the other is Peertube UK. My primary instance is definitely TIL Vids, since I find it to be far more reliable than Peertube UK. But you can watch my videos on either, and that's the choice that I want you to have as the viewer. Although admittedly I don't check the comments and stuff as often as I should on Peertube, but I do definitely think that it's very important that I have my content uploaded on decentralized sites like Peertube, and I definitely want to get more into using them in the future. And with that said, those are all the platforms that you can find me on. I'd highly advise following me on at least one of those other platforms, since I expect to be moving away from YouTube more and more in the future, partially because it's unethical, but partially also because it only supports video content, and after 5 years of producing videos, inevitably you're gonna get burnt out. But with that said, that's it for today's video. I hope you got something out of it, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.